Hello, beautiful souls. So I'm vacationing, and I know I haven't done videos in a long time. I gone from really having a lot of energy to having one more conquest for my crown, and then going back into hermitage, and that's exactly what I did because Spirit told me to do that, and I might explain that someday. I might not. But I just want to say that those of you who are being tormented like I did. Your chrism, your gasm being stolen to use for the other side. That isn't going to win no matter what they do. Because this land, this body, this place, this kingdom is ours. And those of us who are chosen know what I'm talking about. And you've suffered since you were a child, and you've been hunted down since you were a child, and I spent like a whole month probably hardly sleeping at all. This last time I decided to cross the Rainbow Bridge, which doesn't exist. At least not for the opposite side. Like, this is the New Age babble. I mean, I have a ton of stuff to talk about, but I don't know if I'll talk about it. I don't know what I'm going to share, but Spirit has been giving me a lot again since I've been having time alone and hermiting and dropped everybody, even my own family, to spend time alone. And I have to do that from time to time because those who are not awake to what's going on are part of the program, and they're going to be used as such, and there's nothing I can do about that but stay in my center and literally minutes away from those people, and I speak over my soul, and my energy comes back, and my soul, this little light of mine, lights up, and I don't want to explain things to people anymore. I just want to talk to people that know what I'm talking about and can understand and comprehend. And sorry for the shading on my face. I'm very much in the dark in this room, very little light. So there's people that are proud that they've sold their souls. There's right now, I'm thinking sort of a reptilian type. She's multi-racial, and she gets online and just sings, beautiful voice, but sings and boasts about how she's a mixed race or a mixed being, and kind of sold her soul for that, and how she takes your energy for that, and you just sit there and think she's wonderful because she's a movie star and she sings. Well, whatever, she's singing to the lost. That's a lost cause, and it's not my problem. It's not neither here nor there kind of thing. I know when you're chosen, basically your whole life is a hell, and that behind every person stands an entity who just shifts from one person to the next through your whole life. And it kind of doesn't make any sense, and your whole life is just, why am I like this? Why does everyone hate me? Why am I going through this crap? And why when I'm away from people, do I have these crazy glow-ups and age backwards and have peace? And it's because so many people have been infiltrated by this metal, let's call it, or some people say jinn, pathogen, wormhole, demons. I mean, there's a ton of names. Shapeshifters, which people that dealt with me that I've talked about earlier were trying to access that technology, and they can only do it through the souls of people who are actually worth something. And the point is to spread the madness and the hate and the lack and the lies as far as possible. And the people I dealt with, they're just so lost in their belief system and their religion. And thankfully, they pulled me out of the remnants of what was left of mine. And the religion, the Romanism that has conquered the world, is going to have to give back to those who actually really own it via the soul. And the soul, if you haven't given that up, or you haven't unlocked it, expressed it, is what they're after. And if you're chosen and still someone comes at you, or And I'm not saying chosen like they're anything special. Like, we're not. We're just a fact. Like a color. Like, I don't know. Like, we were born for this time. It's not about elites, because El and Leet, God lights, were originally 5,200 years ago, left here when a portal closed, in my opinion. And they came in, sun gods, and took over at different times and different ages. And they're different people in different clans with different belief systems. But if they're willing to hijack energy to stay alive beyond their time, beyond their cycle, and they refuse to give in to natural order, they'll do anything they can to get energy from somebody else. And they hijack bodies. So I never blame the actual human vessel, because it is all just that. And I could blame the person who was dumb enough, to lose their soul. But then again, even myself knowing so much and having to lay my head down, have my brain wiped by these people, so that, because Spirit told me to go work with them. And there's a lot that I remember now, and this has been the quiet and the hiatus and the not posting videos, is because when I get entangled with those people again, no matter who they are operating through, I have to go through a time of losing my crown, my memory, my encrusted, my crystalline being. And that energy falls, and then I have to build it back up. And the only difference between the chosen or the unchosen is that we're kind of out there, humble and meek. Not because we try to be, but because that's our structure. It's how we're made. And yeah, we may seem flighty and we may seem worldly stupid, but we're born spiritually gifted. And they want those gifts, but those gifts aren't theirs. So this land, this earth, whether it's this body or this physical dimension that you see, is hijacked. And so until you bow to your soul and open that, you don't see that whole program. But there's so many of us now who see. As I said 7 years ago, it's all going to be exposed. The fire comes, the scum rise to the surface. That's alchemy. You get the sludge off the top, and you continue through the processes, and you make gold. And this is a horrible smelting fire. This is beyond what the Christians or anybody ever taught me. Any of the religions I dove in to look for the proofs, the pieces within the storylines that are hidden in all the books, they try to turn alchemy into a story of male, female, and good and bad guys, and that's the story. It's not the truth. Now, has it happened? The truth happened in individuals as humans? Yes. But the bottom line is spirit and soul. And there's some that have sold out their soul in order to shape-shift, to have immortality, so that they can go from body to body, that they can get inside these vessels that are not holy and prepared, and they can hijack them and wipe their mind and take them over. And as I've said before, and I've shared in some poetry, which I don't share openly anymore because I shut my page pretty much down, except for a couple people that are, think that they're watching me unbeknownst to myself, and a couple people that have followed me faithfully for years. Anyone that I thought was part of the culty group, I've cut off. I don't let them follow me, except for, like I said, the couple eyes that I want to see me on purpose, because there is a purpose behind it. And, over time, Spirit has shown me the difference between my pride and arrogance and the plan. And the plan always comes out no matter what. The subconscious becomes conscious, and then we're like, oh, I did all this blind and stupid, but it still led me here. It would be much easier if I had done it fully awake, knowing, but the process to awake was to follow my external devotion, mentors, guides, ancestors, until I found the wholeness within, which was bowing to the soul, which was not crossing oneself and cutting off the head from the soul, which that is about. And no, I'm not saying that everything about the cross is evil, but it's two sides, two shifting sides, polarities of a different storyline. And the storyline is played over and over and over again in this world, under the stars. You know, it's the stars that shine for you and the stars that lie to you, whether that be the ones in the heaven or the ones in earth or the movie stars or the gangs or whatever level. Either you know from the center what you're doing and where you're headed, or you go blindly. And me, as many people, the soul is kept hidden on purpose because it's not supposed to be. It's sealed unto the day of judgment. And then when something comes to judge, it's not able to destroy, to burn you down with the fire. Sorry for this. I'm going to shut the sounds off of my other phone. So, basically what I'm getting at is I came to the assured knowledge without any doubt that I am one of those chosen ones, you know? And that's hard. It's not easy. There's nothing, oh, we're the chosen ones. And everyone online boasting about being the chosen ones because they have a certain skin tone, or they were involved in a certain cult group or whatever. And they're being nasty and saying they're the only ones. They're not. They're not. Humble, meekness, grace, chastity. Unless Spirit tells you to do otherwise, don't do it. I told Spirit when I realized what I was dealing with, judge me, laid my head in the person's lap, cut off my head. It's all archetypical. So we are not really this flesh and skin. We're the archetypes of soul, or we're not. And so these souls from a past age, these people who sold soul out for earthly pleasure to the God of this concrete world, they sold off. And so the heaven within, the heaven is here. The heaven's the seat of the soul, where God sits upon the throne. And when the mind is in Christed, then the God gives that up to the soul, the Son gives that up to the Christ to inherit. And it's in stages, you know, the third eye, the crown. And a lot of people are complaining about third eye overstimulation, and I definitely had it. And Spirit kept saying, rest, 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 and everything just rest. And I just kept pushing myself, you know, to try to get my daughter settled. And I gave her a time frame because I gave her so much of my energy the last year. She took me out of my heart space and drained my life force so many times without even realizing she's doing it or caring, because she can't see that. She can't feel what I feel in my soul. And I tried to explain. You know, and now I'm done explaining to people. I'm back to kind of writing my poetry and being whatever. I'm a ghost. I'm a ghost. You know, people don't see me. So, you know, those of you who subscribed and you're not getting your vlog or you're not getting messages or whatever, you saw my alchemical transformation and what I needed to become and how I had my mind wiped over and over again. And this time I was like, from last April, twice it's happened that I've had my hue, my rainbow cut down, my auric field, for a reason, for my choice, because of love, because I wanted to save people. And now Spirit's just like, you're done. It's no more time. And there's nothing happy or I'm the chosen and I'm the better, and so what about other people? Though sometimes I will get mad and just be like, oh, but I know it's not the person, it's the spirit inside of them sitting behind the eyes observing. And they will literally tell you, oh, I'm the eye, I'm the observer. And there's two ways to have your eye open, third eye. You can give it up to the shaitan, to the God of this world, and have your worldly shit, or you can give it up for the soul. you can have the whole thing. And the crown illuminated for what? For the seat of the soul. Or you can give it up, as many people do now. And I've said before, as many people will go to these groups and go to these people, oh, open my crown and I see all these colors and it's wonderful and it's beautiful and it's like being high all the time. Yeah, it is. But why did you do that? Why did you give up that space? What did you allow to come in? People will tell you, oh, if you just shut your mind down, your higher self will come in. No, something will take over your mind if one doesn't first have the seat of the soul. And I knew this. And so I'm like, nah, like I'm not bowing to any of this crap. Something in me just kept saying, don't do it. Though part of me begged for it, pleaded for it, said, hey, this is the direction we're going in no matter what. And now I know. And I'm like, what is there about being chosen, about losing everything, and the only thing you scrape by with is you're still here sitting in this form, even though physically, mentally, spiritually, you've died many, many times, but you're still here in this form. I cannot tell you exactly what's going on, but I can tell you this land is your land, this land is my land. And those of us who had the original rights to it inherit the earth. It was originally ours, souls, the shaitans and the spirits, though they're very powerful. And it'd be cool to have their power. And I tried to attain their power. And I worked with their power and their magic and all of that stuff. It's nothing compared to having a soul. It is literally garbage. So you want to live forever until the sun and the moon are gone, until you're just moving on eternally in space. But you were meant to inherit this earth. What do you want? Well, I want both. And the chosen ones get both. It's not left or right hand stories. And I don't mean to mock the Jesus story, because that is literally really about bowing to your soul, that it's been hijacked by Romanism. We do Christ Mass. We do the Mass. The Mass. We kill the Christ openly. And that's a black Mass. It's a black Sabbath. And it's not the truth. And you cannot convince people anything about that. You know, I get it. Once you're sold into something, you're sold into it. And you're not sovereign. And for me, like, I cut everything off, as I've said before, over and over again. And I sit with nothing. And I gain back my sovereignty. And then I see more. And I realized I was attacking people who might have a chance to come to see what their true inheritance was. And I was attacking them and sort of agreeing with them. So it made no sense at all. And I said, well, I'm just not going to do any more videos until I've earned my crown. And I'm working on the opening up of that. And third eye's been crazy for many people with all the astrology that's going on right now. The stars and things, there's a war. There's a war for who inherits the next age, and for who is the god of the next age, and the gods of soul and the gods of whatever. And I'm not interested in any of the worldly values here. I love here, but I don't love the way when you want, need, and desire something. I love because it's mine, because I love me, because that's who I am. And I was trying so hard to convince people of that. Well, what does that mean? If you're trying hard to convince, then you're saying they're lost, and you're agreeing with the lost program, and you're agreeing that you're still lost to some degree because you need to save something or someone. And it's hard to sit where there's no need to do anything. There's just no need. Like, literally, all the things I went through in the last 4 years since COVID, with these cults and these skinwalkers searching for souls to fill their boat up so they can carry ever on, the alchemists, the eternal alchemists, I don't care. I don't want anything to do with anyone who's going to do something wrong, who's going to tell me, oh, it doesn't matter if you kill, steal, and destroy because we're all dead anyways. Well, yes, that's you Vedic people. You are. You're the past age gods. I don't want to go back and pick up any religion from the past, but I do study it all. I do learn, and I do take the innocence from it. And what I see all over is these old ruins that I walk around that are all snake effigies and burial mounds and ancient moon and sun worship. And what I see is in this age is that the feminine's been destroyed and the masculine is a destroyer of that. The patriarchy is. And I'm not saying like, even that, I tell my ancestors, like, I'm working with you, teach me what you need me to know, guide me with your eye, but I don't want anything to do with a religion. Male, female, separate. I don't want separate polarity. I don't want, oh, it's the time for the mother, oh, it's the time for the father. No, it's time for the unity of both via the soul. And that's all I want. So I'll probably be making more videos than normal this week because I'm alone and all I have to do is rest. Like I'm here sitting in a bed, taking care of someone's home, and I just plan to rest. And the town that I'm in is a beautiful old quaint New England town, and I intend to go out and maybe find some stones. I just saw right around the corner they're digging up the front of an old church and they're pulling out huge boulders. So I know what that means to me. You know, I don't know what it means to the people doing it, but if they don't set up a little tower there, I'm going to go and set up a little tower there. But there's nothing wrong per se with disturbing the land. It's the fact that the church, the fake bride of Christ, has taken over things. And now it's time for the real bride of Christ to inherit the earth. And so those things are going to come up in return. And masons and builders and all these blah, 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 blue, blue groups of whatevers, and I'm this and I'm that, they're all going to try. They're all going to vie. But they're not going to have. They're going to go to their polarity wars, the North and the South, the war for the poles of the body, soul, and spirit. And I'm just going to stay in my middle because that's all any of us can do, is survive. That's what chosen ones are. We're survivors. We're not, oh, we get this and we get that and we get all the blessings. No, we inherit the earth. The meek inherit the earth. Their earth. This vessel, this soul. For the corrupt, we exchange to the incorruptible. And I'm not saying I understand everything about that, but I'm certainly not going to go about it the way that these cult groups teach. That's never happening. So thank you for your time, and I know it's been a long time, and I'm telling you, I made like 20 videos. I couldn't post them. I knew I was hurting people's feelings, and I knew I was going too much into my ego, and I just couldn't do it. Spirit just kept saying, no, don't do it until you're clear, until you feel whole again, and then open your mouth and speak. And so that's what I did, and it's a vlog, so that's all I can do is just share. I could have shared a lot of things. I have shared a lot of things. So, like I said, I think this winter, if I have time, if Spirit allows, I'll take down videos and I'll redo videos. But the reason why I haven't been doing many videos is because I don't have any time alone. Or the devices working with the right amount of space and internet to be able to do all these things. And that seems like a minimalistic thing, but I've just no time to myself and no privacy. And so I have to have that as I can have that and work with that as I can work with that. So, that's why I call it a vlog. Thank you for your time. Thank you, beautiful souls.